I'll never forget the sound of the sirens that day. They weren't far off, they were coming for me. And the crazy part, I hadn't done anything wrong. I was literally just standing in my own driveway, staring at the brand new car in my garage, when my neighbor, the president of the HOA, a woman everyone secretly called Karen, screamed from across the street that I had stolen her car. At first, I thought she was joking. But when she pulled out her phone and dialed 911, yelling so loud that half the block came outside, I realized this was not a joke. This was about to become a nightmare. Karen had always been difficult. She was the kind of person who knew every line of the HOA bylaws by heart and used them like weapons. If your trash can was an inch too close to the curb, she'd send a warning letter. If your holiday lights stayed up 2 days past New Year's, she'd fine you. She didn't live in our neighborhood, she ruled it. And honestly, I'd done my best to stay out of her way. But a few weeks earlier, she'd started showing interest in something I'd just bought. A car. Not just any car, my dream car. I had saved for years, working overtime shifts and skipping vacations, so I could finally afford it. When I drove it home from the dealership, it felt like victory. I parked it in my garage with a smile so wide my face hurt. I thought the hardest part of getting that car was earning the money. I didn't realize the hardest part would be keeping it safe from Karen. The morning of the incident, I hit the garage button and the door slowly lifted, sunlight pouring across the shiny hood of my car. It felt like a normal day. Until I heard Karen's voice. "That's my car," she shrieked, stomping across the street like she was about to start a war. I blinked, thinking I misheard her. But no, she was pointing directly at my car. "You thief. I just bought that car yesterday. Where did you get it?" I laughed nervously, because it was so ridiculous. Karen, this is my car. I've had it for a couple weeks. Bought it at Riverstone Motors." "Liar," she snapped. "I put a deposit on that exact model. Exact color. Don't play games with me. You think you can just waltz into a dealership and steal the car I picked out?" Before I could respond, she whipped out her phone. "Hello, yes, I'd like to report a theft," she shouted into the receiver. "The man across the street stole my car and he's hiding it in his garage." By now, neighbors were gathering, peeking out from driveways, whispering. I felt the heat of humiliation crawling up my neck. I tried to explain, to show her my purchase papers, but she wouldn't listen. She just kept yelling about how I was a criminal, a liar, a thief. Within minutes, the sirens came. 2 police cars pulled up in front of my house, lights flashing. My stomach dropped. The officers got out cautiously, hands hovering near their belts. One of them looked at me, then at Karen, who was flailing her arms like she was leading a protest. "That's him," she screamed. "Arrest him. He stole my car." The officers asked me to step away from the vehicle. My hands shook as I raised them, trying not to look guilty of something I didn't do. My neighbors watched in silence. "Sir," one officer said calmly, "we got a report of a stolen vehicle. Do you have proof of ownership?" "Yes," I stammered, rushing inside to grab the thick folder of paperwork I'd kept since the purchase. My hands trembled as I laid out the contract, the registration, even the financing documents with my name on them. The officer studied them carefully. Meanwhile, Karen was pacing behind us like a caged tiger. "Don't believe his fake papers. He must have printed those off the internet. That car is mine." I looked at her, stunned. Was she serious? Did she actually believe this? Or was it just about control, about not letting anyone else have something she wanted? The second officer made a call to the dealership. For several tense minutes, nobody said a word. My heart pounded so loud I could hear it in my ears. Finally, he hung up and turned to me. "The dealership confirmed the vehicle was purchased under your name 2 weeks ago," he said. "This is your car." Relief flooded through me. But Karen wasn't finished. She gasped, then stomped her foot like a child throwing a tantrum. "That's impossible. I put money down. That's supposed to be mine." The officer gave her a firm look. "Ma'am, putting a deposit down on a car doesn't mean you own it until you complete the purchase. This car belongs to him. You need to stop making false reports." Her face went red with rage. You're all in on this, aren't you? Protecting the thief. That was it. The officer warned her that filing false police reports is a crime. She sputtered, cursed under her breath, and stormed back to her house. The crowd of neighbors slowly dispersed, shaking their heads. I stood there in my driveway, clutching the keys to my car, half shaken and half furious. I had been humiliated in front of everyone, treated like a criminal, just because Karen couldn't stand that someone else had what she wanted. Over the next few weeks, she tried small ways to get back at me. HOA notices about imaginary violations. Anonymous complaints about noise that never happened. But here's the thing, something changed in the neighborhood after that day. People saw her for what she really was. The whispers became louder. Neighbors who had been afraid of her finally started standing up to her. At the next HOA meeting, when she tried to fine me for parking my car at an improper angle in my own driveway, 3 different neighbors shut her down. And eventually, Karen lost her position as HOA president. Looking back, that day was one of the most humiliating and stressful moments of my life, but also one of the most important. Because it showed me something I'll never forget. People can try to take your joy, your hard work, even your dignity, but the truth will always outlast the lies. And no matter how loud someone shouts, no matter how powerful they think they are, the truth has its own voice. That car. It wasn't just a car anymore. It became a symbol. A reminder that what's yours can't be stolen by someone else's jealousy. And every time I turn the key and hear that engine roar to life, I remember the day the sirens came for me, and the day I learned that standing in the truth is stronger than standing in fear. Would you like me to adapt this into a YouTube script style with natural pauses, emphasis, and suspense beats so it flows perfectly for spoken narration?